Hi, I'm Johnny B, and welcome to McKinney ISD Sports Talk. And I know we would love to be talking about next week with head coach Mike Fecci, but we have to wrap up that Bulldog football season. But, Coach, when you look at it, there's a lot of teams that can say they had good seasons, great seasons. Very few can say they made history in their season, and that's what your club did this year.
Yeah, we did. You know, looking back on it, 2 days removed, it's kind of starting to sink in a little bit, the finality of it being over. But what a tremendous year, to go 11-3, to make the quarterfinals, to be one of the final 8. It's something we've been striving for a long time. We were able to get there, and I'm very, very proud of our guys.
When I saw your team walk off the field Friday night at Apogee, obviously they were disappointed they weren't moving on. But unlike other years, I saw the posture still up and the heads up. They knew that they belonged there this year, right, and they had accomplished something pretty special.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, that we played with the confidence all year. A quiet confidence that came from what we instilled and what we were able to do back in the offseason. The work, they knew they'd put the time in, they knew they'd put the work in, they knew they deserved to be there. And I think on Friday night, what they also knew was, say what it is. We just got beat by a better football team. John Tyler's a great football team. Not that we're not, but they're good. And I think that they knew that when we left there. I think that they knew that they gave their utmost effort, and the effort was there the whole night. It was just a deal where they were just better than us on that night. And very proud of our kids, very proud of our coaches.
When you take a look at this team and you watch body language, and I think I talked to you about this in the Lake Ridge game, you were down 14-8 at the end of the first quarter, and I went over to your bench, and there was Ronald and Nick just sitting there actually looking like they were watching TV. You notice this team has been down a lot, even in Wakeland. You're down with 4:55 to go. You're going to overtime. They had an incredible poise about them this year, too.
Yeah, they did. They did. And I attribute that to our staff, our coaching staff. And that's just how we do things. We try to stay even-keeled as much as we can. We use the saying, things are never as good as they seem. Things are never as bad as they seem. It's always somewhere in the middle. And as long as you stay focused and don't panic and stay even-keeled, you always have a chance. And I think this group exhibited that week in and week out. There was times where we could have panicked. There's times where we could have let down. We never did, and I attribute that, again, goes 100% of that credit does not go to me. It goes to my coaching staff and how they interact with our guys day in and day out, and to our players for taking that lesson and then living that lesson out.
I think a perfect example of that is, let's go back to the last game of the regular season against Wiley. You got a chance to get a gold ball, a district championship. Close first half, Ronald gets hurt, then it kind of got away from you.
Right.
And you as a coach, I'm sure, could have some concern like, wow, can we bounce back from this? We've been on a great run. It's disappointing.
Right.
And boom, they come up with a big win against Wakeland.
Yeah, looking back on that Wiley game, and I said this to somebody today, I don't know that we go 4 rounds if we beat Wiley. I think what losing to Wiley did was refocus us back in on the important details and how winning is fragile, and winning is something you have to cherish, and winning is something you have to work for day in and day out. And I think that game refocused us, brought us closer back together, and then we got on a run and got hot at the right time. And, it was a fun ride for sure.
Friday night, I think, was a great exhibition of North's heart, because you got down early, yet your team kept fighting, making plays. Before the half, Ronald busts one out, and you're right there. And I even said to you, with about 8 minutes to go, and it's pretty much getting away from you there, your special teams are laying all out to block an extra point. I mean, they played until there was triple zeros.
Yeah, that's something we preach all the time. The score's irrelevant. The only thing we can control is our effort level. And you have a choice every play. Am I going to give effort or am I not? And you can't let the circumstance of the game or the score of the game or how you feel at that particular moment dictate that to you. And to see those things play out is something that I cherish more than anything else, because those are the kind of attributes that these young men are going to carry with them one day. And as I kind of said after the game, in not so an eloquent way, but one day when they're older, they're going to look back and know that life's hard and things aren't always going to go your way. But all you can do is your absolute best and go out there and do it every day. And I think this group of seniors did that, and I know they did that, and they left a legacy for sure.
Before we take a look at the highlights, I have to talk to you about Justin Montabuke's performance. I mean, obviously, we've talked before. You've had to get another mailbox this year for all the interest in him to play football, and he's still got another year for you, which is even more scary for a lot of people. But I've never seen a defensive person kind of dominate a game, even in a losing effort, than he did. Blocking a punt, recovering a fumble in the end zone, going past 3 people to sack a quarterback.
Right.
I mean, what a factor this young man's become.
Oh, he is. He's a factor because, number one, he's 6'4", 255 pounds, and he can run. Number one. Number two, he plays with relentless effort. He gives a tremendous amount of effort on every single play. And there's those few plays where he just says, I'm not going to be blocked right here. No matter what you do, I refuse to be blocked. And that's a special attribute that not everybody has. And, we're glad he's back for sure. And he did. He played really, really well Friday night.
Let's take a look at some highlights against John Tyler from Apogee Stadium, UNT. Hey, one of the great things about this run, some historic venues, some great places you got a chance to play. Yeah,
Cotton Bowl was awesome. Apogee was really good. Great play there by Ducey. That running back was a very, very good player. And at times we did a good job against him. This is one of Ronald's great runs, the acceleration right here.
We talked about that stiff arm right there that he does so well.
Yeah, and that, getting him to the second level, there's that burst that he has is just, boy, you just don't see that very often.
He had a big offensive line, and like you said, this running back was bouncing off people, but that time you see
Devin Drain, sophomore, made a heck of a play there, and did a good job. We're expecting big things from him. How about 24 catching the ball here? Something we've worked on over and over and over, and first time we went out and did it, and shows another talent that he has there.
What can you say about number 7's year? I mean, over 1,000 yards rushing, over 2,000 yards passing, the second biggest passing campaign in North history.
Yeah.
He had a great year.
He did. He was everything we thought he'd be and more. We talk about him all the time, and there's Matabuke again, just refusing to be blocked. Just an ultimate competitor, probably one of the most competitive kids I've ever had the ability or pleasure to be around.
Here's Ronald right up the middle, boom, and then gets into the secondary and still going. This is, I think, the run just before the half.
Yeah, and look at the receiver. There's your receivers blocking again. I mean, that's just phenomenal. He gets pulled down by his hair right there, which we hate. And
I saw that he was covering his dreadlocks early, kind of a little uncomfortable for him.
Yeah, people have started dreadlocking him here the last 3 weeks. So much so that he thought about cutting it, and Coach Gundy was actually in the office Monday and visiting with him and told him, leave that there, that's what makes you you. And he did, but he got tackled by him. This is Matabuke, right there getting a big sack for us, and hopefully this next play's on here again, just refusing to be blocked, stripping the football away from a guy, getting up with it, scoring a touchdown. That's huge. That's huge.
That was right there what we were talking about, that if you could have got a stop right there, it may have really swung things a little.
Again, here's Gifford getting through, making a big play, Justin drawing a double team. We had instances where we played really, really well, and then there was instances where we just didn't. But at the same time, again, very proud of them. Really good move by Miguel Hudson, getting out in the open field. Miguel's got a lot of shake to him. A lot of swivel.
Hey, it took 3, and they knocked out of their own 2 players there.
Their own selves out. Again, here's a really tough run by Hutch. Good block by Joe Marsh, still on the edge. Great block by Brendan Harris. Excuse me, that's Curvin. Great block by Curvin.
Took down the official as well.
Yeah.
Trifecta.
Yes, sir. And I think this is a great call by Coach Harden. Joe Moore up the seam. That was there, and Coach called it at the right time.
Again, you knew there was going to be 12 people in the box against Ronald. One of the things that I think him and Nick perfected this year was the fake, the ride, and drawing people in.
Yeah, here it is again, and Brennan you can't get much more wide open than that. I wish he could have kept his feet right there, but he still caught it, and it was a great play for us. But yeah, you're right. Those 2 guys had a special chemistry back there together. And learned the art of great play fakes, and it helped us.
2013's group set the bar. You went out in the second round, but you had a great group of seniors. That's been noted. Right. You go now to the point you got 3 gold balls in that office of yours, and this team. Now you saw this team this year say, "We expect, we expect."
Right.
Now it's an expectation, you would think, at North to be a playoff team every year.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And funny enough, we had a little meeting today, kind of already looking at where we are. What do we got coming back? What do we need to go find? What do we need to do? And that's what you do in this profession. You just move on to the next group. But this group definitely raised the bar high, and that's what you want, is each year for that bar to keep getting raised and keep getting taking it to a level that it hadn't been before. You know, we got a big challenge ahead of us. You know, we got to guard against a lot of things this offseason, complacency being one of them, thinking that it just happens, you know. But at the same time, we'll go back to work and we'll take what these seniors have taught us and what they've done for us. And this next group coming up, we'll pick up the ball and go run with it.
Another two things I will remember from this year, Coach, is your plank in the Cotton Bowl against the wet field. And
right.
On Friday night, I got to tell you, I got to give you some ups for your vertical when you're trying to fire the team up and chest bump Matabuke. It's pretty impressive.
Well, you know, that was raw, pure emotion. And looking back on it, you know, it wasn't the smartest thing to do because you see coaches all the time chest bump somebody bigger than them and inevitably go down. And the minute I left my feet, I thought, okay, please don't jack me up, Matabuke, because if you've ever shaken his hand or if you've ever fist bumped him, he doesn't do things easy, and that was the case there. And I almost went down, but you know, it was exciting. It's fun. You know, I'm an emotional guy, and you know, hopefully my players feed off that at times. But you know, it was a lot of fun. You know, this year was a lot of fun. It was a lot of emotion involved, and it was a long ride. You know, looking back, it was the whole month of August, September, October, all November, and into December. It's a long ride, but boy, what a fun ride.
2014, you made history. Congratulations,
Thanks,
Mike.
Johnny. Appreciate you.
Coach Mike Fecci from the McKinney North Bulldogs here on MISD Sports Talk.